Hi, mermaid junkies. Okay, look, I am coming to you. I just got out of bed. I worked out and everything, and now look who's with us this morning. Isn't he sweet? I might put him down in a minute, but he seems to be okay right for the moment. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about is the art of allowing. And I'm going to give this story. I'm going to put Oliver down because maybe he wants to sit and relax some. But I want to talk about the art of allowing. And I'm going to give this scenario, this story, that is proof that when we are able to relax and just allow things to come into our life through manifesting, that if we don't have any resistance, they come so easily and they come with almost no action required. And so I have so many stories, but one that was very prominent when I was doing my meditation this morning that really made me think about, how easily things can come into our life. Oliver, don't do that, sweetness. Come here. You want to say hello? Hi. So, anyway, so what it was, the thing that I thought about was this little story that I'm going to share with you. And as you guys know, I always tell you that the reason that I share the certain experiences with you or the certain things, whatever's on my mind at the time, it's usually because being a spiritual teacher, you want to talk about and try to work through what you're actually experiencing in your own life. And so that's a lot of times why I will share with you certain things that are on my mind or, going on in my particular life, because those are the things that I'm experiencing in the moment, right? And so I know that, words don't teach, only life experience teaches. But if I can just actually give you a little bit of, what has helped me along my journey, it may help you along your journey. So, okay, so I was reminded that, I've been dealing with a particular thing, and I've tried to just always weigh the pros and the cons, but not focus too much on the cons, because we know there's two sides to the stick, right? Everything, the universe is non-inclusive, which means anything you focus on, you're going to get. The universe never tells us no. So if you say, no, I do not want that particular thing, you're going to get more of it if you focus on it. And if you say yes to something that you really, really want, you're going to get more of it. So anyway, I was trying to think why this particular circumstance is not working out for me so much. And I think it was just trying to understand where I'm not allowing the path of the least resistance to equate in my life at the time. So anyway, so I was thinking about the art of allowing. And here is a prime example of me just allowing things to flow. If I will just put down the oars and just allow the universe to take over. And I think that that's the hardest thing for us as humans, is that we want to, as soon as we decide that there's something that we want, we go to work with action to try to figure out how, when, what, who's going to bring it to us. And that is our biggest downfall, is that we try to use action to do something that is already vibrationally manifested, but we just physically don't see it at that time. So once again, I was reminded of this particular thing. And it's a beautiful example of allowing the universe to do its magic, so to speak, right? So in my divorce, I had gotten my Mercedes, and it's paid for, but it's a lovely little car. I love it. I've had it for a long time, and it's very special to me, and I just appreciate everything about the beautiful little car. Well, I had went to a dollar movie one night by myself, and it was like midnight or something. And this is right before I had moved to Florida. And so I come out of the movie theater, and there is a huge crack in my windshield. And so, let's just ignore the fact that I attracted that, because I know exactly how I did attract the crack in my windshield. But so let's go on to the whole movement of about how the art of allowing things to happen. The universe will completely answer all of your desires if you don't put resistance in the way, right? So fast forward a couple of months later. Okay, so this was in Oklahoma. Well, Florida has a law that if you have a cracked windshield, by law, because of the insurance and things like that, you were able to get your windshield fixed for free. So at the time I was living in Oklahoma, but I had moved to Florida, and I just didn't pay any, I had insurance and stuff, but I just was like, it was one of those last things on the list that was like, I don't care about getting this done right now. It's not like it's a hindrance. It's on the passenger side. It's a tiny crack. It wasn't a big, like it hadn't grown, you know what I mean? The crack was just, that big or whatever. But through the heat and everything, it would expand and it got larger. So fast forward about 3 months. I mean, I had thought about it in my mind. I'm like, oh, I really should get that taken care of. And now that I'm in Florida, the insurance would cover it and all that. But it just seemed like a big pain in the neck. So I just kind of kept putting it off. So one day, the car is in the driveway, and I had prior to probably a week before that, I remember washing and detailing my car, and I was like, I really would like to have a brand new windshield. And that was the only thing that I said. And to myself, it was internally, and I didn't think much more about it. So fast forward about a week later, I go to the mailbox to check the mail, and obviously my car is parked in the driveway facing the house, and I see a little note, like a little index card, and it's stuck into the side of my window. And I thought that was kind of weird, because, I'm in a development, and I just thought it was odd. But we don't have a law against solicitors or anything. It's not a gated community. So I get the paper, and I look at it, and it says, need a new windshield, call so-and-so or whatever. And I just thought, okay, that's odd, but I'm going to call it, right? So I call the number, and it's like this company that I guess that they go around, walking around neighborhoods is what the guy actually had done. He says, yeah, I was walking past in your development, and I saw that you had a cracked windshield. And I said, yeah, but how did you know I had a cracked windshield when my car was facing my house? So how could you have seen that? And he just said, well, it's our guys on our teams that are, asked to go and find a certain amount of, like, I guess sales, so to speak. Because they basically kind of work for insurance companies, I think. But anyway, so I called the number, and they said, yeah, I noticed that you had a windshield broke. Would you like us to come fix it for free, and we'll haul off the other one, and all we have to do is make a call to your insurance company. And I just thought, sure. And they're like, okay, can we come by tomorrow morning at like 9? It'll take us like about 30 minutes, and we'll do it right there in your driveway, and be done with it, and you're good to go. And I just thought, like, is this too good to be true? Like, this, I didn't do anything but call a number. And so anyway, the next day, the nice men came, they changed it. I talked to them, made pleasantries. They took the windshield, fixed it, took the old one, moved, we called the insurance company. They said, oh yeah, you just had to tell them, what happened. And it was fixed, and everything was done. And so, that whole incident really got me to thinking about how much that we do in life to get what we want, and feel like there's action has to be taken, like massive amounts of action. Have you ever noticed that that's like in the personal development field, especially like our old schoolers, you know, like Stephen Covey or Brian Tracy, or even to some degree of conditioning, like one of my mentors and great, I mean, he's a Pisces, I adore him, Tony Robbins. Like, they still have that certain thing. If you don't live the law of attraction like to the fullest extent, like really in deep with law of attraction, you still happen to live on a conditional basis to some degree, which means that a lot of entrepreneurs think that you have to take massive action and hard work and grind it out and freaking like give it all you got. No pain, you know, no gain, no pain. And it's like, but that was the universe showing me a perfect example of me not doing literally anything to get my windshield changed. And that was a desire that I had, and I put it forth in the universe. And the universe made a way for that particular desire to be fulfilled, and I didn't hardly have to do anything but make a phone call. And so it just has really been such a beautiful, powerful example of us, if we will just sit back and stop doing like 90% of the work that we do. We're so conditioned to believe that we have to work like slaves. We have to work like dogs. And people that have that mentality as well, that have never gotten past that, or maybe they don't live the law of attraction, they look at people like me maybe, or people that don't put forth a lot of effort or whatever, to get what they want in life, as lazy, when that's actually not it at all. It's a huge misconception that I, or someone like me that follows the law of attraction, is actually doing a lot. You're focusing. And when you focus your thoughts on things and your desires to have them manifest, it's actually way more beneficial to do it my way or through the law of attraction than it is to do like work it and grind it out, because it basically is like a lack of faith, that you lack faith in the universe to actually give you all of your desires, which comes down to a lot of like internal beliefs, especially like you've been conditioned throughout your life to believe a certain way. Like, oh, you're not going to get anywhere in life if you don't really work. You're not going to be successful if you don't work really hard, you know? And that's really a misconception. It really is. And I'm here to debunk that and say, you know, if you live the law of attraction, you know full well that it's not necessarily the effort. Now, that's not to say that you're not going to be motivated to take action once you are inspired. But so often people will go directly to action to create something or want something to happen, instead of getting in alignment and focusing on their thoughts and vibrational energy before they actually go to, are motivated to take action. Does that make sense? Like, worry about your alignment and your focused thoughts and your desires before you go and take action, because so many people live that type of mentality. And it's just a conditional basis. I mean, we've all been conditioned to do it, and I still do it. I mean, you guys, that's why I'm talking about this particular thing, is because every day I'm being reminded, like, stop working so freaking hard, Raquel. You don't have to work so hard. The universe is helping to give you every desire that you want, Raquel. And that goes with you as well, you know, that if you will just sit back and trust the universe will inspire you to, like, pick up that certain book at the bookstore, to make a particular phone call, to send a certain email to someone. You know, all these things are inspired notions. And if we will just wait for the inspiration, and Christians say that, you know, oh, I was inspired by God, you know, that's exactly basically what I'm talking about, is like you're waiting for inspiration to be inspired, to be motivated to take action. Instead of taking action initially, like getting up and taking action, like, see, if I would have taken action on that, Like, it wasn't a very big, important thing to me, for one. And if we can notice that and associate that particular feeling and emotion internally with how we want, especially like the big things in our lives. Because what happens is a lot of times we desire that we really, really want, like, I really, really want this particular thing, or I really, really want that particular thing, and it's a really big, huge thing. Like, maybe you want a really good relationship, or you really want to find your soulmate. We tend to focus all of our energy on that particular thing. And so that is what makes it harder in coming to us, because we have so much resistance that we're trying to push off from trying to find, let me get on this dating site. Let me, go on Instagram. Let me try to find this person on, being hooked up with my friends, and maybe they know where my soulmate is, or whatever. But like, here's the thing is that, like, you don't need to worry about all that stuff if you will just allow the universe to inspire you through a lot less action. And I think that if we can really recognize that in every little aspect of our lives, he's almost gone to sleep, that we will realize that we don't have to work as hard to receive our desires and dreams. They will manifest themselves if we put down our oars and our resistance to those particular things. And so I hope this served you. I hope that this made sense. And thank you for stopping by, and thank you for all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. Last week I was super busy. You guys do know I've been trying to really work on doing all the illustration for my little children's book. It's about a little Merry Maid named Scarlet Rose. And she goes on these little adventures and things, but it's actually an entire series of books that I'm writing. And they're like law of attraction based, but they're also like, so adults can read them, like they're very intellectually in depth, but they're also very childlike, because I think that it's so important for us to be able to reach children, because if we can reach children and then the parents of those children, I think that it's vital, and that's how we change the world, because if we can get to the children and teach them about alignment, teach them about loving themselves, and, relying on the universe to bring all of their desires and dreams to fruition and manifest, then, we literally have the world by the tail. I mean, that was a show that I used to swim at Wiki Wachi. It's called World by the Tail. And so anyway, that's kind of like my little thing that I always say is you have the world by the tail. But anyway, that was a little bit of rambling, but it's good to be back, and bless you for forgiveness for my little impromptu video, and saying hi to Oliver. Such a sweet little bunny. Isn't he getting so big? He's only 3 pounds though. He's all hair. Doesn't he look like he's a huge bunny? He really isn't. He's so tiny, like it's all hair. But anyway, let me put him down. And but yeah, I don't know why I mentioned that, but well, I mentioned it because he looked kind of big in the camera, didn't he? All right, well, I love you guys, and thank you so much for sticking around. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao!